Welcome to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Saturday, March 7th, I'm going to attend the Elizabeth Coalition to House the Homeless Basketball Classic. This was canceled back in January when there was really some inclement weather that hit our area. The first game will kick off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's going to be a team from Public Service Electric and Gas versus the Union County Corrections Officers. And the last game will be at 3 o'clock, and that will be the Battle of the Badges, where the Elizabeth Police Department will face the Elizabeth Fire Department. This event will take place at Benedictine Academy, located at 840 North Broad Street. If you need more information, please call 908-355-2060. And if you need more information concerning these events or any other events in the city of Elizabeth, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124. So please stay with us after these messages. We'll be back with one of my favorite shows of the year, talking about the St. Patrick's Day Parade scheduled for March 14th in the City of Union.
Offering everything you could want from college, including a life. Kean University.
Welcome back to Our City. I'm pleased to be joined by this week's show by Mr. Tony Brennan, who is the chairman of this year's St. Patrick's Day Parade, Miss Kathleen Holmes, who is the adjutant and also the one that does all the work in the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade, and Dr. Margaret McMiniman, who is the Grand Marshal and also the president of Union County College. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mayor.
So we're going to Kathleen, we'll start with you first, because I know Tony a long time. I know you too, but how long have you been involved with the parade?
As an officer, probably 5 or 6 years, but
you never missed one, right?
No, never missed one of the parades ever.
Yeah, so you've either marched or something.
Yeah, from the beginning. Yeah.
How many years is it?
19.
19 years. Mm-hmm. And Tony, have you been involved since the very beginning?
Well, actually, Mayor, first of all, it's great to be back on Our City with you. This was.
I was going to get to that later.
Okay, but yeah, it's been 16 years. With the parade, I actually got involved in it because of my association with the former TKR Cable of the City of Elizabeth. In 1997, I went out and did a wonderful story on the first parade. We started doing start-to-finish television on the parade from 1998 on, and I've been doing it ever since. And this year...
Are you going to do it this year as
chairman?
No,
I'm not.
Who's going to do it?
There are a number of people who are already signed up and working hard to do it. Yes, I'm going to miss it a little bit this year, but to have the honor of being general chairman of this parade, it truly is one of the greatest honors of my life.
So you're the Grand Marshal, Dr. McMiniman.
Yes, I am, and I'm proud to be the Grand Marshal.
How long have you been? You're new to the area.
I am new to the area, so my first parade was 5 years ago, and I went as a spectator. Went with my mother, not knowing what to expect, and sitting outside the Union Center National Bank and watching that parade, I said, I've got to get the college involved, and I want to be involved in this. So I've marched in it 3 years, and this is my first, with my students, my Union County College students, and then I got the call to be Grand Marshal this year. So
now, how did you think that worked? Did you have someone put your name?
Well, if you mean did I campaign, I didn't campaign for it.
No, you can't campaign for this because I know they won't vote for you.
Well, the Friendly Sons, I was fortunate enough to get the support of Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, certainly Pat Scanlon at Union Center National Bank, good friend of mine, retired Elizabeth PD, Maddie Glacken, and my nomination was seconded by the Cryan Association, and I can thank Assemblyman Cryan, or Sheriff Cryan rather, for that, and got
he was Assemblyman at that time.
Yeah,
so.
a lot of support, and certainly the support of my Board of Trustees and the folks at the college said, yes, this is a good thing for the college.
You think it was a contested vote?
I don't know. I heard there might have been a mayor from Elizabeth who was in the running, but...
They'll never pick me. It's my last name. It's not going to happen.
I heard it's the only election he ever lost. But
you're all Irish,
that's
right?
Right. That's right.
So, Tony, tell us about the duties of the general chairperson, because I'm going to get to Kathleen in a moment, but I want to hear how you've manufactured this into a real position.
The role of the general chairman is to really oversee the operation.
So you don't do anything?
No, it's not that at all. Once you put the right people in the right positions, it makes things easy. The good thing about our parade, we've had dedicated people involved in our parade over the years, over and over and over again. Past general chairs, past adjutants, past grand marshals continue to stay involved. And two past general chairs who are an integral part of our parade are from the city of Elizabeth, 2011 General Chair Mary Lou Lenahan, and my immediate predecessor from 2014, Kathy Noonan.
So they're still active.
They are still very, very active in all facets.
Do you listen to
of
their
the parade.
advice, Tony?
Yes, I do, very much so.
Okay. I just was curious, you know. So, how many strings of Elizabeth general chairmen have we had?
We've had
You're from Elizabeth?
we've had 19 different general chairs. Every year we have a different general chair. And while it is not in a require or in the bylaws that the general chair only serves for 1 year, we have a tremendous amount of talent within our parade committee. And there are individuals who want this job, want this role, and relish the challenge of doing it. And so we feel good about that.
Kathleen, the adjutant, as I've said earlier in the show when I opened it up, does all the work. And every time we've done this show about the St. Patrick's Day Parade, I always look to the adjutant because all the work, you got to organize whom walks where.
Yep.
How do you do that?
Party planning, logistics coordinator.
Party planning. I like that definition.
It's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
You're just planning a huge party. You send out the invitations, you receive them, you put them in the line of march, you make sure everybody marches where they're supposed to. It is a big job, but it's well worth it.
Well, Kathleen, you just talked about a bunch of Irish people putting them in the same position. And it doesn't just fall that easily, does it?
It doesn't
somebody
fall that
complain
easy at all.
that they're marching in group 4 and they should be in group 1? I mean, don't you?
Well, nobody wants to be in the back of the parade.
Right.
But somebody has to be.
The parade has to end.
It has to end. So, you know, you just tell them you're at the beginning of the end.
So when you put these groups at the end, does your phone ring off the hook?
I don't know. I've never been the adjutant before.
Oh, so you haven't felt this yet?
Yeah, no.
So when do people know when they're walking or what group?
When the line of march is done, and I'm hoping to have it done about a week before the parade.
Okay.
It's already been started.
Right.
But, you know, up until the end, I'm sure there's going to be changes. So
Somebody's going to say.
somebody's going to, yeah.
So how have you enjoyed being? You were
I love
selected
it.
when, last year?
I don't know when I was exact. Tony will know the exact date. When was I nominated?
Well, what, for the adjutant's
Yeah.
position? You weren't nominated, you were
Well,
asked.
when was I asked?
You were asked at last May, I believe it was.
Oh, okay.
So it's been
So,
almost
yeah.
a year. It's a year
Yeah,
in
but
advance
now
of
is
the-
when everything is to be done. You know, all the, like I said, the invitations are out, or the participation, the band contracts are all in. So now is when you start the line of march. So now is when it starts to get really hectic.
So Tony, since you've been involved for 16 years, have you learned anything as a general chairman?
Well, especially this year, I've learned to love and appreciate our parade more. I've always had a fierce devotion to our parade, and this year I've grown to love it even more. As I said, being the general chair is an honor beyond belief. There are 3 things, Mayor, that the general chair can do really unencumbered by anyone or anything. Number 1 is to design a parade pin, and I think this year we have a very,
You designed the pin?
Yes.
Was
Yes,
it
I
a
did.
champagne glass on that? No. It should be a beer glass. It shouldn't be-
No,
it looks like
no.
a champagne glass.
No, it's not. It actually is a symbol of the Celtic cross, which I've done in honor of my late father, who you knew.
Yes.
Because that was on his prayer card.
Only you
when
could
he
make me
passed
feel
away.
bad about picking it out to be a champagne glass.
And it says the theme of the parade, pride. Pride in our country and pride in our heritage. The second thing that the general chair does is to pick an adjutant. So when I asked Kathleen to be adjutant of this parade, and I say this with pride, that Kathleen is my adjutant and Dr. McMenamin is my grand marshal this year because of me being general chair of this parade. I could not have a better adjutant than Kathleen. And the third is to dedicate the parade, which this year we've dedicated the parade to those in the public sector who make a difference for the better for others, the everyday and unsung heroes. It's not just police, it's not just fire, not just elected officials, it's anyone associated with the public sector, because
I guess the governor's not marching.
well, the governor, people in government make a difference in our lives every day. It doesn't matter what it is. And it is time that they be recognized for the outstanding job they do for us.
That's a pretty good lead into you, Dr. McNineman, being the president of Union County College and working in the public sector. You got a lot of people from Union County College marching with you this year?
Yes, we anticipate a group over 100, and our students love to march in the parade. They've been enthusiastic about
the
it.
students love the parties before and the parties after.
Actually, this is
I used
really-
to be a student, so no?
My experience with these kids is they like to have fun, but they also take their schoolwork very seriously. Lots more serious than most of the kids I remember from when I was in school, certainly, and from the last few schools where I've worked. Union County students seem to have a recognition for the value of education, but they also understand that getting involved in the community is important. So we've had enthusiastic participation by our kids. They want to march in the parade. They're proud to be part of the college and proud to represent the college. You'll see our EMT and paramedic ambulance decked out in the parade as well, so we get students from those programs. And you'll also see one of our national championship vans in the parade, because as you remember, we had a national championship in soccer about 4 years ago, and a couple years ago we had 2 national champions in track. So this gives our students not only an opportunity to get involved in the community, but also to build a little community among themselves.
So, any family members coming to support you?
My mother,
I was gonna
Elizabeth,
ask.
my
I was
mother.
wondering if she was going to be there.
She's going to be there. The 97-year-old matriarch of the McMenamin family will be there, and she believes actually that your city is her city. She thinks it's her city. So
where does she live?
She lives with me, and she's from Scranton. She's a native of Scranton, Pennsylvania, and she actually every night when I see her, she says, "Are we going back to Scranton tonight?" But she lives with me, and she's looking forward to the parade. But I also have 2 of my sisters are going to march.
Well, you're from a big family.
Yes, I am. I have 5 brothers and sisters. And my brother, Peter, from Maryland, is coming up. He's going to be my chief of staff. So he's the new patriarch of our family, and he'll be leading that crew. But I have cousins coming in from Massachusetts and Ohio, and maybe a couple from Virginia as well. We'll see.
And who's ordering the weather to make sure?
Actually, Father Chuck McDermott from St. Mike's in Union is in charge of the weather. So we're all on the beads, though, helping.
Does that concern you, by the way,
Oh my
Kathleen?
God.
The weather
Yes,
is
it's going to be 55, sunny, beautiful day.
We also
I like how you put that order in.
we also have supplementing those prayers Monsignor Hugh O'Donnell, who was the pastor emeritus of St. Genevieve's Church in Elizabeth, as well as the chaplain of the Elizabeth Police and Fire Departments, and also the current pastor of St. Jen's, Father George Gillen, helping out too. So we've got a lot of
We
prayers
have everybody
going
on the
for it.
parade committee praying.
And praying too.
The track record is with us, though. I mean, in the 16 years, there's only been one parade that was really poor. The weather was pounding. I remember driving up that day to the back of the grandstand where you were, got out of the car, saw Nugent's, who I walk with every year, hopped in front, waved to the grandstand, and got back in the car.
And that was the year 2000. Because
you know the year.
I know the year, yes, because you had you have been at
Kathleen, no
every
question.
single parade from 1997 on, and we know that you will continue that record.
Well,
here
I've
in
marched with the Nugent
2015.
Association every year, as
Yes.
opposed to the elected officials up front. I marched with Nugent's before I was an elected official, so I feel that I should continue to march with Nugent's, even though I am.
Just so you know,
elected.
your name is on their form, so you are.
Yeah, so I am marching with Nugent's, right? Oh, so you get that's another point. You get the form, and you know who's marching with who. Is that for the 2 grandstands? Tell us about that.
Right, it is for the 2 grandstands. I get the form in, and then I make a book for each grandstand with the line of march, and if there's any elected officials marching with that group, so that they can be announced at the grandstand, we make a note of that, so that the grandstand knows each group that comes by in order.
Okay. And how many groups do we have?
I don't know how many groups we have offhand. A lot.
How many tiers or segments?
There is technically 5 divisions. Well, technically 7 divisions.
Divisions, we call them, right?
Right, but there's 5, and then there's protocol and lead and protocol, actually.
Okay.
So, but they're
and protocol
smaller
marches at the end. Is that
no, lead and protocol, and then 1 through 5.
Okay. I always see the parade committee at the end. I thought that was
The adjutant staff is in the end, and
the adjutant staff is the end. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk more about the St. Patrick's Day Parade after a few commercials, if you can stay with us.
Sure.
Please stay with us after these messages, and we'll be back more with the St. Patrick's Day Parade on Morris Avenue in Union on March 14th. Welcome back to our city, and I'm pleased to be joined by the Grand Marshal, the Adjutant, and the Chairman of the St. Patrick's Day Parade on March 14th in the city of Union. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
So, Tony, tell us, as the chairman, have you held other positions in the parade before being elected chairman? Is this a hierarchy thing, or they plucked you out?
No. As I said, I have had the honor of being called the voice of the parade for doing the television on the parade since just about its inception. But as time went by, I got more involved in committees and gotten involved in trying to raise a few dollars for the parade, because it costs a lot of money to put this parade on the street, and we're doing very well as far as that's concerned this year. I'm very pleased to say.
So you have to do the fundraising as well?
I assist with that.
Do you get involved in that, Kathleen? No.
Not really.
That's the general chairman's job.
But as I said, this is hopefully going to turn out to be a very good year with that. But I served 1 year as second vice chair, ran for first vice chair, and now this year, general chair.
So you were never the adjutant?
No, I was never the adjutant. Many general chairs have been adjutant, then second vice chair, first vice chair, and then into the general chair's position. But there is nothing written about that. It's like an unwritten tradition, but it hasn't always been that way. There have been a number of people who were not adjutant who became general chairs.
So, Kathleen, were you ever an officer before being?
I actually hold two offices right now.
Yes.
I'm the corresponding secretary and the adjutant.
Okay.
So
what do you prefer?
corresponding secretary is a lot easier, but adjutant's a lot more fun.
Oh, it is? Oh, you're having fun with this?
I am having a blast.
Oh. So when Tony's the guy that called you to say, I want you to be the adjutant?
He's the one that asked me, yeah.
Yeah, and you said, huh?
Kind of. At first I was very hesitant because it's a lot of work.
I know.
But I love it, and my family is so behind me with this. They've really been very supportive. My husband is everywhere with me, so...
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's been very, very good over
Does he like the parade?
He loves the parade.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Yeah, he's 100% Irish, too, so...
Oh, he is. So it works.
Yeah, so it works.
Okay.
And my kids are old enough now, and they're on my adjutant staff, so... Yeah,
so they'll all march with you, too,
I actually
as well.
have all my nephews in tuxes this year, and all helping me out, so...
Oh, good for you.
So it's a big affair in the Holmes house.
So I was kidding the doctor about her selection as Grand Marshal, and was it unanimous? Can you please tell our viewers, what is the process for being selected as the Grand Marshal of the parade?
Well, an individual must be nominated by one of the member organizations within the St. Patrick's Day Parade, and there are, I believe, 19 of them. Then it's seconded by one of the member organizations. It's really a closed vote, and then it's a vote. But if there are no other contestants, that individual is elected unanimously, and I'm very, very pleased. That's what happened to Dr. McMenamin this year. Very, very happy with that. As the good doctor has come to know, and I mean, she's been enthusiastic about our parade since she became the president of Union County College in 2010, but she's really learned
you know
now.
that.
Oh, yeah, yes, I do.
Don't doubt him. I know, Captain.
But I think you have really come to appreciate all of the work that goes in to putting this parade together and on the street. You being an educator for so many years, you've really gotten an education in this.
I have. I just thought you showed up in March, but I've since learned there's quite a bit of work on logistics, and certainly you're right. The adjutant does all the work that goes in behind the scenes.
Now you're going to be in a bus at the end of this parade, and our police department is going to get you to 10 or 12 different stops, I would imagine, or 6 or 8, whatever the number is. Do you have any idea?
No, I haven't gotten the tour set up yet.
You set that up too?
Yes.
Oh, so you set the tour up. And you have to get off and have a drink at all of these stops. I mean,
You don't have to have a drink.
you don't have to have a drink.
You
No.
don't have to.
Oh, I'm sorry to throw that in there.
The purpose of that is really to celebrate the success of the parade, and also to thank all of those community service and fraternal organizations and church organizations organizations for the work that they did getting the parade going. It's not just 3 people on the sofa. It's the Knights of Columbus and Elizabeth. It's the Kenilworth Veteran VFW. It's organizations like that that do so much of the work. And at the end of the day, we go and say, great job, and thank you very much for your commitment.
So do you have to be Irish to be the Grand Marshal?
Well, we like to think that yes, the Grand Marshal does have to be at least partially Irish.
Partially Irish.
But I of Irish descent. But as Dr. McMenamin said, this is a tremendous team effort. And one of the things I've marveled over the years is just how great the team is. And it's just not only within the parade committee, but as Dr. McMenamin just mentioned, all the organizations that contribute time, contribute resources and energy to making this parade the finest St. Patrick's Day parade in the state of New Jersey.
So I take it you're of Irish heritage.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
And you're proud of this moment as well.
Of course.
I mean, based
my
on your
family,
heritage.
myself, and folks at the college. It's a great honor for us. And when I told my family members, they were delighted. But my father was our Irish storyteller, and he talked a lot about Ireland and our heritage, and it certainly has rekindled those stories for me and that pride for me.
So you know when your family emigrated to this country?
Yes, I do, in the 1860s.
So it was during the potato famine?
Yes, to escape the oppression of British occupation.
Yeah. So.
And they came through New York, ended up in northeastern Pennsylvania in the coal mines and on the railroads, and really fought for a better life.
My mother's family came here in the 1880s, so it was a little after that, but it was...
Yeah. Same kind of environment.
Right.
And it was during that time where we experienced some of that lack of welcoming for Irish immigrants that some of our own immigrants experience here in America today. I mean, no Irish...
So talk about yourself for a moment and tell me how this selection has affected you. You're really good at talking about Union County College and your family. So tell me how it's affected you as a person being selected to be the Grand Marshal of a parade in a town that clearly you've come to after you've developed your solid education credentials.
Well, it's affected me in that I've met more people. I feel like I've extended my family, and I know that sounds corny and cliche, but I'm getting to know so many more people in the community. In the last 4 years prior to being named Grand Marshal, I met a lot of elected officials, and I had a chance to interact with my students, but I didn't get to spend that much time with regular community organizations. And this has connected me to Union County in a way that the college and elected officials in my work with the county could never have done. Being exposed to the parade committee and all the wonderful people who volunteer there, I feel like I have new friends that I would never have had without having this experience. So it's great. It's a new family for me.
What were you going to say?
I said she does have new friends.
She does.
Yeah,
And she has,
So did you know her before this, by the way,
No,
Kevin?
not
You
at
didn't know
all.
her?
No,
Okay.
we met on December 16th after I was my nomination was confirmed. So
That's when you met Kathleen?
Yeah.
that's when I met Kathleen.
Yeah.
I met some of the folks.
I've met Kathleen many, many more years before that.
She told me and I met a few of the folks. I knew Tony. We had done an interview
Everybody knows
before,
Tony.
but in October I played in the parade golf tournament just to
That's actually
support
the
the
first time I
event,
met you, yeah.
and everybody was wonderful, friendly, welcoming, kind, and welcoming to my students. Because a lot of people are nice to the president of the college. I want to be with people who are nice to the students from my college. And the parade committee welcomed Union County College students with open arms. And that's part of the reason why when Tony and Pat Scanlon came to me and asked, I said yes.
So Tony, what's special about this year's parade? I mean, she just gave a great rundown, but from your perspective, what's special about this parade?
Well, we're adding some new things to the parade that we've never had before. We have the 32 counties represented in banners of Ireland, and that was the brainchild of 2006 General Chairman Pete Tierney. This year, we are adding banners of the 4 provinces of Ireland, of Connacht, Leinster, Munster, and Ulster. And these banners are not small. They're 4 feet across and 6 feet high. They're absolutely magnificent. No other St. Patrick's Day parade in the state of New Jersey has what we are going to have. And we're very proud of that. We've also changed our American and Irish flags. We have retired the original ones that have been flying since 1997. And thanks to Bobby Jeans and the Kenilworth Veterans Center and Kevin Dowling and the Nugent Association, we have new American and a new Irish flag respectively. And I'm very excited about a very special guest we're going to have this year. When people think of large parades in the United States, the New York Parade comes to mind. The gentleman who has been the chairman of that parade for 23 years now, John Dunleavy, is coming to our St. Patrick's Day parade and will be marching with us. He's only being at one New Jersey parade, and he's chosen the Union County St. Patrick's Day parade to come to, and we're very excited.
You must have went and got him, right?
Actually, a very dear friend of mine who you know, Councilwoman Gretchen Hickey from Linden, is very, very close friends with him. And Gretchen told me she wanted to do something special for me, and so she asked Mr. Dunleavy to come, so he's coming.
So Kathleen, we're going to close with you. If you can talk about the rundown of events and the date and the time, and starting with, I guess, the 9 o'clock Mass, what's the day going to be like?
Yeah, there's a Mass in the morning.
On March 14th.
On March 14th, Saturday, March 14th. There's the Mass in the morning that the entire parade committee attends usually. And 12 o'clock.
The Mass is at?
St. Patrick's and Elizabeth.
Right.
Yes.
And then 12 o'clock is our grandstand activities. We'll have Irish step dancing, Irish music. There is a kids zone that will open at 12. There'll be food. The museum is coming again.
New Jersey Hall of Fame Museum.
Hall of Fame Museum is coming again. And that will all be at the corner of Stuyvesant and Morris, all up there. So that begins at 12. And then 1 o'clock is the kickoff of our parade.
But one thing you do is always start on time.
Yes, and we will this year too.
And then it's the ride with the Grand Marshal?
And it's the Adjutant's tour afterwards, yes. Right. We start at the bank, and actually there's, in the morning, I think it's 10:30, at, what's the name of the?
Where?
I can't think of the name of Van Goghier, sorry.
Yes.
Van Goghier.
Yeah, and then, so
we'll
it's
have
an
to
all-day event
I know
for
that.
the parade committee. Yeah.
So thank you for giving us that rundown.
Well, thank you.
And I want to thank the three of you for taking the time out of your schedule to join us on the show this week. And I also want to thank your commitment to Irish heritage here in our city and our county, and your commitment to making sure that we have a great parade and showing off what's good about the Irish community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
For Tony Brennan, for Kathleen Holmes and Dr. Margaret McMiniman, the Grand Marshal, I'm Chris Bolwage. We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City. And we'll
Sometimes you learn by helping others learn. Kane University.